Hello, students. Today we are going to deal with the last concept in human reproduction chapter. So far, we have finished the fertilization and a glimpse on implantation. So, the next concept is we are going to start with pregnancy and embryonic development, that is, fetus development. So, before that, I need to give a short revision for what we have studied during the fertilization process. So we know already, in one hand what happens, there will be ovulation, secondary oocyte will be released from the ovary. That oocyte is released in the infundibulum and they reach the ampullary region. In the same way, from the vagina, yes, by the process coitus or intercourse, copulation takes place. There is an insemination process, a kind of gamete transfer, where the semen is ejaculated. The semen containing the sperm will undergo activation, everything it will happen, that is capacitation we have studied, and they travel near to the egg. So once they reach the egg get activated, means the meiotic arrest, the second meiotic arrest will be continued, and the secondary oocyte get converted into ovum, and a sperm entry takes place. So within this diagram you can see a single sperm get entered, okay, by cortical reaction, everything. Just revise it. After the fertilization, what happens? Formation of zygote, means the sperm and egg nucleus fuses and the zygote development takes place. Soon after the zygote development, so that is the end of fertilization. Once there is a fertilization, after that this zygote undergo a cleavage process, okay, a cell division or special kind of division during the embryonic development, okay, that we call it as a cleavage here. The single zygote converted into two-celled stage, four-celled stage, eight-celled stage, and this 8 to 16 or 32-celled stage we call it as morula, okay, a ball like structure, morula. After morula, what happens? The blastomeres of the morula get rearranged and they form blastocyst, okay. The first embryonic development contains the outer layer trophoblast, inner cavity blastocele, and at the one end or one corner inner mass of cells, okay. Soon after blastocyst is formed, they get implanted here. On the uterine wall there will be attachment of this blastocyst, okay. This attachment we call it as implantation. Understood? So this is what implantation. After implantation, that is the sign of what we have studied, that is a sign of pregnancy, okay. In the next slide we are going to deal with the pregnancy and embryonic development of the fetus, okay. So what happens after implantation? Okay, here you can see in the diagram, soon after the implantation, what happens? The finger like projections appears, okay, that we call it as chorionic villi from the blastocyst trophoblast layer, okay. What happens? This chorionic villi will be emerged into the endometrium wall. That is a great connection between the maternal blood and uterine tissue, okay, which is surrounded by uterine tissue, that is finger like projections, which helps to hold the blastocyst on the wall of the uterus, okay. So next, the chorionic villi and uterine tissue, okay. So chorionic villi is from the blastocyst, means we can call like fetus, and the uterine tissue, okay, are interdigited to form placenta, okay. So this is uterus and this is embryo chorionic villi, and they get attached, interlocked, okay. Both this maternal tissue and chorionic villi get interlocked and they form Yes, a connection, physical and physiological connection called placenta. Okay, so placenta is the structural and functional unit between the embryo, that is fetus, and maternal body. It is very important definition. Okay, next, placenta is connected to the embryo by an umbilical cord. So how this placenta get connected with the fetus or baby? Through a cord called umbilical cord, and it transports substances to and from the embryo. Okay, it helps in transportation, or it's just a connection. Okay. Okay, we'll study the functions of placenta now. So the first function, it acts as a barrier between the fetus and mother. Okay, supplies oxygen and nutrients from the mother to the fetus, and remove the carbon dioxide and excretory wastes from the fetus. Okay, to the fetus, what happens? Oxygen and nutrients will be supplied. From the fetus, the waste materials are also collected with the help of this placenta itself. Okay, next, one more thing, placenta acts as an endocrine gland, means the gland which produces hormones. Okay, it acts as an endocrine gland and secretes the hormones, the following hormones, that is HCG, HPL, estrogens, progesterone, and relaxin. Okay, so what is HCG? Human chorionic gonadotropin, important expansion. Human placental lactogen, that is HPL. Oestrogens, that is estrogens, progesterone, and relaxin. Even the relaxin is also secreted by the hormone ovary. Okay, here you can see this complete structure is placenta, where the fetus chorionic villi is embedded with the uterus thing, and this black thing is umbilical cord, where it is connected to the fetus. From fetus to from the fetus, what the waste products are collected. To the fetus, towards the fetus, the oxygens and nutrients are supplied from the mother, and sometimes it acts as an endocrine gland, and which maintains the pregnancy also. Okay, along with the progesterone, HCG is the hormone, important hormone produced only during the pregnancy. Okay, so this is the function. They may ask for 2 marks or 3 marks, important question. And next, during pregnancy, estrogens, progesterones, cortisol, prolactin, thyroxine, etc. are also increased in maternal blood. Along with the estrogen and progesterone, okay, yes, cortisol is also produced from adrenal gland, prolactin from brain, pituitary gland, thyroxine from thyroid. Okay, already you have studied chemical coordination in the first year. They support the fetal growth, metabolic changes in the mother, and maintain pregnancy. All these hormones are meant to maintain the pregnancy itself. Okay, during this time, the germ layers give rise to all tissues, or we know in humans it is organ system level, means organogenesis takes place. This germ cells give rise to different kinds of organs. What are those 3 germ cells? We know ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm. All 3 layers they have their own role to produce the different tissues or organs. Okay, hence organogenesis takes place. We'll study which trimester or which month the respective organs are developed. Okay, and one more thing, as we know, as we have studied in spermatogenesis, about type A cells are called as stem cells, means they have the capacity to replace themselves or replicate themselves, right? Here also the inner mass cells of embryo, that is blastocyst, we have studied. So inside at the corner there will be inner mass of cells. These inner mass of cells are also act as stem cells. they have the potency or capacity to give rise to all the tissues and organs. Okay, this is important point. Next, human pregnancy. Okay, that is gestation. It is also called as gestation period lasts 9 months. So human, the gestation period is of 9 months. There are different organisms example gestation period. For cats it is 2 months, for dogs again 2 months, and for elephants it is 21 months. Okay, but remember in humans it is 9 months. Okay, we'll study the embryonic changes, okay, embryonic development or the organogenesis in the developing fetus. Okay, after 1 month, soon after the 1 month, which organ is first formed? Heart. Remember, this is important multiple choice question also they may ask. So after a month, heart is developed. End of the second month, what limbs, digits are developed. End of the 12 weeks, that is a first trimester, after 3 months. Okay, a major organs called limbs, external genitalia are developed. During 5th month of the pregnancy, first movement of the fetus. So first movement of the fetus, this is also important point. First movement of the fetus on 5th month or during the 5th month, and also appearance of hair on the head. Next, end of 24 week, that is second trimester, what happens? Body is covered with fine hair, eyelids separates, eyelashes are formed, and end of the 9 months, so ready for delivery or parturition. So these are the different important events during the pregnancy period, that is gestation period. Okay, remember, after the 1 month, the first organ is formed is heart. Next, end of the second month, limbs and digits. End of the third month, all 3 months, that is 12 weeks or first trimester, limbs means major organs are developed. During 5th month, remember the movement of fetus and appearance of hair on the head. Okay, and end of the 24 weeks, that is second trimester, body is covered with fine hair, complete body, eyelids will separate and eyelashes are formed, and at the end of 9 month, so there will be parturition or baby delivery. So now the last concept in post fertilization event is parturition and lactation. Parturition means labor, means the process of giving birth to the young ones, we call it as parturition, and it is induced by neuroendocrine mechanism, means it is a combination of both the response of the neurons as well as some hormones. Endocrine means obviously the hormones. Okay, so next, the signal from the fetus and placenta include mild uterine contraction, and this mild uterine contraction is especially formed from the fully developed fetus itself. This we call it as fetal ejection reflex. So one more important 1 marks question they may ask. Define fetal ejection reflex. Okay, the reflex or signal given from the fully developed fetus, which in turn cause what? Mild uterine contractions. This we call it as fetal ejection reflex. This will help. This fetal ejection reflex causes the release of which hormone? Oxytocin from the mother's pituitary. So what happens soon after when there is a fetal ejection reflex from the maternal body, that is from the mother pituitary, a hormone is released called oxytocin. This is very important process. Next, what happens soon after the oxytocin released, it causes the stronger uterine muscle contraction. We know which layer of uterus undergo uterine contraction. Yes, that is myometrium, remember. In turn stimulates the further secretion of oxytocin. Whenever there is a stronger uterine muscle contraction, few more amount of oxytocin is secreted from the mother pituitary. So this process is continued leading to the expulsion of the body out of the uterus, means expulsion of the baby, okay, out of the uterus through the birth canal. We know how the birth canal is formed at the cervix region, okay. So after the parturition, what happens? The umbilical cord. So this is cutting off the umbilical cord, okay. The placenta, this is the remnants. Umbilical cord are expelled from the maternal body after the parturition. It is called afterbirth, okay. So this is the remaining. When the baby comes out, there will be delivery. The remainings of placenta as well as umbilical cord will be removed outside from the maternal body, that we call it as after birth, okay. The next content is lactation. So soon after the parturition or delivery, so the mammary gland produces milk towards the end of the pregnancy. At the end of the pregnancy, the mammary glands or breasts produces milk, and this we call it as lactation. The yellowish milk, this is very important, again 1 marks question. A yellowish milk produced during the initial few days of lactation, the starting days of lactation, no, so yellow thick milk is produced. That milk we call it as colostrum, and it is very important for the baby development because it maintains the immune system. It contains a lot of nutrients, okay. So because of the presence of essential antibodies which develops the resistance to the newborn babies, the breastfeeding at the starting days or starting few months is very important, okay. So this is the colostrum. This is after, okay, after few days, that is the starting milk which called as colostrum, yellowish milk, okay. So this is what the post fertilization event in human reproduction. So this is the end of human reproduction chapter. Thank you.